Morning, Crosby. It's Nana. Can you see me? Yeah, I'm still in my PJs. I'll read you a book. You know what's funny about this book? It's your uncle's name, Dakota. Except this Dakota is a wolf, um, a little wolf. And I'll read it to you, and Shifty'll just play with his bone. Okay? There's Shifty playing with his bone. Here's the book. Okay, let's get into Dakota and the Wolf Pack. Dakota and the Wolf Pack. Oh, well, one blustery winter afternoon. What is that? High in the mountains, Dakota was distracted by a squirrel and strayed from the pack. I wonder where you live, thought Dakota the Wolf, as he stared at the squirrel running lightly across the autumn leaves. Somewhere warm and safe, he thought. There's Dakota. There's the rest of his pack. But he's paying attention to the squirrel. Dakota was a handsome young wolf with bright yellow eyes and a fluffy gray coat of hair. He was learning to be he was learning to be quick and brave like the older wolves in the pack. He had become he had to become strong to live and hunt in the forest. He was, after all, a wild wolf. But Dakota was also a member of a wolf pack, and with the pack he was loyal and gentle. That's what you call a group of dogs, is a pack. And a group of wolves is a pack. Oh, there he is. Dakota the Wolf. Well, a snowflake settled on Dakota's cheek. As Dakota shook the cold thing away, he half realized that the howls of the pack were drifting further and further away. The squirrel had disappeared into his hole, and Dakota was about to return to the pack when a distant whoop caught his attention. Dakota sniffed the air, but no familiar smells gathered around his cold, wet nose. And then there was another woof. Even Shifty thought that wolf was real. Anyway, Dakota looked up at the gathering clouds and followed the sound. Ooh. Uh-oh. Dakota trotted through the forest, leaving footprints in the snow and now lightly covered ground. Woof! Woof! The sound was closer now, and Dakota peered from behind a tree trunk towards the sound, but could see nothing at all. Then there was a howl, not a big howl, just a little sort of howl. Dakota's heart jumped, but he crept closer towards the sound and found himself looking into the eyes of a member of his pack. "What are you doing in there?" said Dakota as he stared at a very tired-looking Nicky the wolf. "I'm stuck under this fallen tree and I can't squeeze out." The snow was falling heavier now, and deep piles of snow gathered between the trees. The branches began to to bend with the weight of the snow, and the cold wind began to blow. Dakota knew he needed the pack to help Nicky out of the hole, so he lifted his head to howl. Oh, and howl he did, the biggest howl you have ever heard. Arr! Arr! As he panted clouds of steam into the air, his ears perked up, waiting for a reply from the pack. But Dakota's howl was buffeted by the wind and muffled by the snow, and the pack was too far away to hear. Oh, Nicky began to whimper. He knew he could not survive trapped in the freezing hole without food and without the warmth and help of the pack. Don't cry, said Dakota. I'll save you. But he didn't know what to do. Clouds now blanketed the sky, and what was left of the day turned quickly into night. If it hadn't been for the moon hidden above the clouds, the night would have been as black as Dakota's nose. Nicky finally stopped whimpering and fell asleep. Dakota lay on the ground, almost covered in snow, and he too fell asleep. The clouds scurried across the night sky, and the snow stopped falling. As the clouds were blown away by the wind, the moon shone gray and cold on the two wolves who were all alone in the freezing snow. The next morning, sunlight shone through the branches of the trees, and Dakota's snow-covered eyes. Better to stay asleep, thought Dakota, who felt warm in his thick winter coat. Suddenly, Dakota jumped up, scattering snow all around him. His ears twitched, and he stood straight up. He tilted his head to catch the sounds of the morning air. There was a faint, "Ow!" howl in the distance, and then more howls. It was the pack. Dakota stiffened his muscles, lifted his head, took a deep breath, and howled. The howl startled Nicky, who had been fast asleep dreaming about the warmth of the summer. As Dakota heard the pack's answering howls, he thought proudly, that was one of my best howls. Arr! Oh, the sun was now rising. Higher in the morning sky, snow and ice sparkled as the sunlight played upon its surfaces. The air was now full of yelps as the pack arrived, filling the spaces between the trees. Nicky barked with delight. The pack meant friendship and safety. Dakota lowered. Woo! Get back in focus, Nana. Okay. Everybody helping. Dakota lowered his head and crouched close to the ground as the leader of the pack approached him. Well done, he said to Dakota. Nicky would not have survived without you. Quickly the leader began to dig down toward Nicky. The other wolves joined in, and soon there was just enough room for Nicky to squeeze out. Nicky wiggled through the hole and wagged his tail happily. As soon as he was out, one of the wolves dropped a bone at his feet, and the hungry wolf chewed at it eagerly. This is one of the best breakfasts I have ever had, he said. And he wagged his tail so hard that the wolves thought the winter wind had come back again. After the wolves greeted one another with licks and playful jostling, It was time to go, and the leader moved off into the forest. Dakota trotted behind with Nicky. Both wolves passed right under the squirrel's hole and hardly noticed the squirrel perched on a nearby branch. Nicky turned his head toward Dakota and gave him a big, wet lick. Thanks, he said. Dakota felt happy and suddenly warm, knowing that the pack was together again. A wolf pack is a family of friends and relatives. They hunt and they play together, and together they are strong. So Dakota is a young wolf. He lives in a family of wolves called what is it called? A pack. Dakota's pack lives high in the mountains, and they howl "Arr!" to keep in touch with their pack and the neighboring packs as well. And the sound tells other wolves how large the pack is and where their territory is. Each wolf has a rank in the pack. The wolf carrying his tail the highest, that one, is the leader, while other pack members carry their tails curled between their legs. By day, the wolves roam through the forest. At night, they nestle together and sleep. The end. Is that a nice looking wolf? Sometime Grampy should tell you about when he was younger, he had wolves. He had two different wolf dogs. Sometime he'll tell you about it. You have to ask him about his wolves. I love you. Crosby Harry, have a good happy day. Or you going to bed. Night night. See you later. Bye bye. Shifty